Hey everyone, Gaijin Goombah here. Okay, I get this question all the time, so I figured it's about time that I just make a video about it so I can point everyone to it. I get asked all the time, people saying, I'm going to Japan, either for studying or for just a fun trip, whatever. Where should I go? The real question is, why are you going to Japan? And that's not the facetious question that I made it out to be. There are a multitude of reasons to go to Japan, whether it be for study, pleasure, but there's also other reasons to go, such as I'm really big into anime and manga, I'm really big into video games, I'm really big into their culture, I want to learn more about it. So, you have to ask yourself, what is it about Japan that you want to experience? Because that's going to determine where you go. So, for example, let's say you're really big into anime, or anime and manga. Even then, you're going to have to narrow down your search to what about anime and manga are you looking for? Are you looking for current things? Or are you looking for old school things? Because you're going to want to go to one of two completely different sides of the country for that. Okay, so let's say in theory you're really big on Attack on Titan. I guess K-on's still relevant, I don't know. But you're into the new stuff. I would suggest Akihabara in Tokyo. It's one of the wards. It's going to have all of the newest stuff in terms of merchandise, even in terms of video games, things of that nature, although it's really focused on current anime and manga. So if that's what you're into, I would suggest going there. Tokyo in general is pretty good, so there's other places to hit. Now, if you're like me, and you're into the old school stuff, and by old school I mean anything 2005 and older, you're going to want to go to Osaka, you're going to want to go to Nipponbashi, aka Denden Town. That place is going to have everything from like Tetsujin Nichihachigo, or what we know as Gigantor, up till probably the early 2000s for anime, manga, swag, things of that nature. And really, that's it. You're not going to find too much new stuff there. You're not going to find what's hip, but you're going to find really good old school stuff. If you're into stuff like Godzilla or Super Sentai or anything like that, or Kamen Rider, you're going to want to go there. You're going to want to go to Osaka and Nipponbashi, because that's where you're going to find all that merch. If you're going for new stuff, you're not going to find any of it there. And if you're looking for old school stuff, you are certainly not going to find it in freaking Akihabara. Okay, so let's say you want to go for video games. Anywhere's kind of okay. Like, Tokyo's obviously going to be good, but Tokyo's also going to be crammed. Like, the population density of Japan is bad enough. But there were some shops that I recall where you could only go, like, one person at a time because everything was so narrow. So you could either go to Akihabara or Tokyo in general, or Denden Town, or Osaka in general. It's pretty much everywhere. So let's say you want to go to Japan to get into the heart of Japan. You know, you want to understand that Yamato Damashi, that soul of Japan. Stay away from Tokyo. And I don't mean that to be an insult. I really don't. You're not going to find the heart of Japan in Tokyo. I've been to Tokyo probably a dozen times. It ain't there. What you're going to find in Tokyo is everything that is brand new and fashionable and in the craze and all that stuff. You're not going to find the heart of Japan there. That's like saying, that's like a foreigner saying, I want to go to America to discover its heartland, but only go to either California or New York City. You're not going to find it. And New York Californians, I love you guys. But I don't think that's where the heartland is. Ooh, my voice cracked. Excuse me. But, what was I going on about? Yeah, if you really want to freaking go to Kyoto, just go to Kyoto. Like, if you really, really want to see what Japan's culture is all about, Kyoto's preserved it phenomenally well. All kinds of structures are still intact. Kansai in general is a really good place to go in order to get that vibe. I lived a stone's throw from Nagoya, and Nagoya, even being one of the biggest cities in Japan, still had a lot of its old culture still intact. Let's say you want, like you're big into ninjas, and you want to know all the crazy crap about ninjas, and there's a lot of it. I plan on doing a video about it. Excuse me. Go to Iga. Iga's in Mie Prefecture, the prefecture that I lived in for a couple years while I was in the JET program. They have everything. You can, like, dress up as a ninja. They've got tours of ninja homes. They've got this big, giant ninja museum. Ueno Castle's there, and it's just gorgeous. The view from there is absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, Iga would be a great place to go if you were just all about the ninja. So, let's see. Places to just... wait, no, excuse me. If you have to go to Tokyo, like, if your mindset is just, I have to go to Tokyo, either because of Akihabara or whatever, one of the places that you will find a lot of heart in Japan, the Meiji Shrine. Yeah, Meiji Jingu. Yeah. The Meiji Shrine in Tokyo is phenomenal. Like, the torii is, like, 6 stories tall. Solid wood. Beautiful, beautiful place to go walk around. Oh my gosh, I can't remember. I think it's in Harajuku. I can't remember. Oh, that's so bad of me. I've only been there once. But yeah, if you're going to Tokyo for any reason, please go see Meiji Shrine. It's not small. It's quite huge, actually, but it's amazingly good. That being said, there are places in Tokyo you're going to want to avoid like the plague. You will have a bad time. I need a little meme guy. If you go to these places, you're going to have a bad time, and you will. The number one place to never ever go, especially in Tokyo, well, I guess it's only in Tokyo, Roppongi. Stay away from Roppongi. There's no reason to go. There's none. And here's why. Roppongi is the stereotypical place where all foreigners go. So, with that in mind, it would be not hard to understand that there's going to be a lot of animosity against foreigners, because a lot of foreigners that do go into Japan do not know how their social rules function. They do not know the unspoken rules. And, yeah, it's just, I can't figure out why foreigners are still going there, because they get such a bad rap. These are the places, like, I'm sure you've heard on the news or whatever about stores that will not let foreigners in, like they're just big racists or whatever. This is the place where that happens. I've never experienced that in any other place I've lived, and I lived in both Kansai and Kanto. Never happened to me. I've always been allowed to go in stores. But Roppongi is the one place where people will turn you away for being foreign. They will say Japanese people only. And like I said, it does make sense, because when you get the big, loud, angry foreigners, and they do exist, who know nothing about how Japan society works, that's really not wanted in a society where harmony just is the number one crucial thing. When I studied abroad, and when I lived in and around Yokohama, which is very, very close to Tokyo, my buddy, I'm going to call him Frank, because I don't want to use his real name. The first thing he did after we flew for 12 hours, and we were trying to get used to our new sleep schedules and whatnot, like, the first thing he said is, I'm going to go to Roppongi. I'm like, don't. I've never been there yet, but I know what's waiting for you. And he's like, dude, you just don't know how to fun. This was like an athletic kind of guy, and he was fun. He was a good guy. I'm not going to say that he wasn't. Really charismatic, really athletic. I'm like, don't go. And he's like, oh, dude, you just don't know how to have fun. And this is the kind of foreigner that who I call Gaijinas would be attracted to. And that's a hybridization of vagina and Gaijin. It's basically Japanese chicks who only just want to bone foreign guys because foreign. Anyway, so he's out all night. The train stopped running at about midnight, 1 a.m. No, actually, sometimes as early as 10. So he had to get the first train of the morning home, so I don't know, maybe slept on a bench. He came back in exhausted, and I was feeling fresh. I had a good night's sleep, and I said, "So Frank, how was Roppongi?" And he said, "Dude, it was terrible." And I'm like, "I warned you." I said, "What happened?" And he was all like, "Well, whenever I went to these clubs and tried to dance with these girls, they would just laugh at me, and they wouldn't take me seriously." I'm like, "Welcome to Roppongi, the place where foreigners are not taken serious ever." The other place that I can think of off the top of my head to never go, but only don't go at night. Don't go to Shibuya at night. If you're in Tokyo, don't go to Shibuya at night. I went there during the day with Frank and a handful of my other friends, and we started wandering the back streets. And we came across little shanty buildings that looked like they were really run down. And we come to find out that those are all brothels. Don't be there. Like, I don't care how tough you think you are, or how in the know you think you are. If it gives a hint of being a red light district of any kind, don't go there. You have no idea what you're getting yourself into, literally. I don't care how good your Japanese is. Some of the people that run these sexual places of business, they'll find ways to get you in there. They'll find ways to get your money, and they'll find ways to get you in a lot of legal trouble. Just don't go in there. No matter, like, just any little red flag that goes off. Whether the buildings run down, you see kanji. If you see the kanji for big, which is like, like that, stay away from that. You're gonna have a bad time. Speaking of getting in trouble with the law in Japan, if you're a pot smoker, leave it at home. When I was doing training for the JET program, this was a huge point of contention. Is that if you bring or have in your possession any amount of drugs, period, it doesn't matter if it's weed. Weed is treated like crystal meth in Japan, if not worse. If you are caught with an insubstantial amount of weed, one, you're going to be arrested. And deportation is going to be the least of your worries. You're going to get hit with several thousands and thousands of dollars worth of fines. That's the second least of your worries. You're going to be spending days in jail. And not just chilling out. You're going to be interrogated for like 8 hours on end, like non-stop interrogation. They're going to be asking you stupid crap that doesn't matter. They're going to be like, "What's your sister's birthday?" They're going to grind you into the ground, which is one of the biggest problems that I have with Japan is their legal system and their treatment of prisoners. It's wretched. Make every attempt to not get arrested in Japan. Don't start a bar fight. Don't bring in drugs of any kind. Oh, by the way, speaking of drugs, there are drugs that are illegal in Japan that are legal here. Not like illegal get high drugs. I'm talking like pharmaceutical drugs. A lot of just about every antihistamine that's legal in the U.S. is illegal over there. Like I take Mucinex XD, which is like it used to be an over-the-counter, but it's got so much, I think, pseudoephedrine in it, and you use that to make drugs. You use that to make meth. Japan's very serious about anti-drugs. So, don't leave that at home. I don't even know if Claritin is legal over there. All I know is that their pharmaceutical antihistamines suck. So let me see, what else is there? I think that's it. I can't quite think of any do's and don'ts at the moment. Just be smart. Be smart about where you're going. Stay out of trouble, because trouble will find you if you're not careful. Oh, drinking. That was the last thing I meant to think about. If for any reason you're in Japan and you have a car, I don't know. If you go to a really remote area, you might have to rent a car. I don't know. Even then, I'm not sure if they would let you drive it. Now, if you're from the UK, or I think Europe in general, because we in the US, we drive on the right side and they drive on the left. Japan also drives on the left. So I think for those of you watching in Europe, if your country drives on the left side of the road, you're fine. You might be able to rent a car. Anyway, don't drink and drive. And I know that's really obvious. Here's the thing, though. Here in the US, you can have, I don't remember the legal limit, but I think it's based on state. But if in Japan you are driving, even riding a bicycle, like they take this seriously. You can't even ride a bicycle while drinking. If you have any alcohol in your blood at all, like you could have just had a beer, if it's in your blood, you are going to jail for driving under the influence. It doesn't matter how much you've drank. If you've drank anything and it's traceable in your blood or your breath, you're going to jail. So don't drink anything and drive. Now, that being said, and knowing the fact that most people that visit Japan don't need to worry about taking a car for anything, public intoxication is completely legal. So if you want to go get hammered out of your mind and then go walk the streets, go crazy. Just bear in mind that there's police, like there's kobans, little police boxes, in a lot of places. And if you cause any trouble, they're going to swarm you, especially if you're Gaijin, especially if you're foreign. They're going to swarm you. So anyway, I think that's all I've got. Wow, I meant for this to be kind of short, and it's turned into almost 20 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that. Go to Japan. Visit Japan. Don't live in Japan. Don't work in Japan. But visit it. Great place to visit. Great place to meet very interesting and fun people. I may have more to say about that in a later video. But that's all I got, guys. So until next time, this is Gaijin Goombah, signing out.